Okay, here we go. Gala Festival. Your next festival is going to be in Minneapolis. It was originally planned for Minneapolis in 2020, but you all know what happened. We tried to move it to 2021, and you still know what happened. So eventually it was just canceled, and we're really excited to bring it back to the Twin Cities. This just gives you a little bit of a sense of where our festivals have gone since 1996, when a festival was held here, until this was 2016 was the Denver Festival, but we had over 7,000 singers already registered for 2020. So we're expecting 2024 to be a huge and incredible event. There are 4 Gala choruses in the Twin Cities. Calliope Women's Chorus here on top, and then my chorus, One Voice Mixed Chorus, Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus, and the Shout Trans Chorus. And we are excited to welcome you. Whenever we create a festival, we always try to design a festival village. So an area in this case in downtown Minneapolis, where the performing halls are fairly close together and are connected in proximity to hotels as well. So I'm going to start with some of the performing venues. Convention Center Auditorium has a beautiful performing space. You'll see some pictures in a minute. And then just across this, whoops, my pointer is at the wrong screen. So here's Convention Center. Just across the street is Central Lutheran Church. And that is a completely different performing option. This particular venue has a beautiful, beautiful organ and cathedral acoustics. So if you're looking for that kind of experience, you'll want to sign up to be at Central Lutheran. And then down the street over here is Orchestra Hall. And that is an orchestral performance space. Our youth are going to be at Westminster Presbyterian, just across the street from Orchestra Hall. And then you can see, actually, the Hyatt Ensemble stage is not happening for 2024. The ensembles will be back here at the Convention Center in a large ballroom. And then workshops, this is the Hilton Hotel. Workshops will be at the Hilton, and then there are hotels all around this space. Oops. All right, this is Orchestra Hall, just slightly over 2,000 seats. It has these kind of fun and funky blocks as part of the design. And the Minnesota Orchestra performs here with the choir behind it. So this is probably our largest stage in terms of just space for singers. We will have a small extension on this stage, but this gives you a sense of what the hall looks like and what the stage looks like. And there are also, we took some videos of each concert hall. We walked from backstage onto stage and out to the backstage again, including the warm-up rooms and that sort of thing. So those videos will become available as you're getting ready to register and select what hall you want to perform in. This is the Minneapolis Convention Center stage. This is the largest space in terms of audience, so just about 3,500 seats. It's a proscenium stage, and the stage does not hold as many as Orchestra Hall, but obviously the audience space is. And actually the acoustics are quite remarkable in this particular stage. What you can't see is back here, there are 3 kind of domes that really help send the sound forward. And this is Central Lutheran. You can see the magnificent organ pipes there. We will build a stage across here. Every stage will have video capabilities. This is a slightly smaller than Orchestra Hall at 1,700 seats. And then, as I said, the ensemble stage will be in a hotel ballroom. I think actually for 2024, it'll be slightly larger. I think it'll be closer to 1,500 seats. So I think everybody on this call has not been to a festival except Paul. And just be prepared for a very, very busy week. It's really exciting and there is a lot happening at the same time. So typically, depending on when you're performing, you will want your chorus to arrive at least a day early. You'll get a schedule that says when your tech rehearsal is. It's typically a day before you perform. In the first, again, these are dates from 2020, but in the first day, there will be some kind of opening concerts and then a series of concert blocks. So every chorus has a 30-minute concert block and they're back to back, typically in 2-hour segments.
Can I jump in and ask a couple things about that? Because I remember one of my big questions was like, I don't know when to come. I don't know when to leave.
Mm-hmm.
What time is that opening concert generally?
That's an excellent question. It's usually afternoon. Well, at the last festival, we had one opening concert in sort of late afternoon, and then it repeated in the evening for people who were coming later. That has not been scheduled yet for 2024.
But we'd be pretty safe if we came like midday of
Yes.
that opening.
Yep.
And then the people who are involved in that opening concert will know enough to get there early.
They would need to be there the day before because
Yeah,
all the tech rehearsals will happen for the opening concert will happen the day before. And this schedule will be really clear long in advance of when you're ready to make travel arrangements. I'm going to be talking about coffee concerts a little bit later, but these are the orange blocks here. One of the things that happened, I don't have my dates together, but maybe 2 festivals ago, was that some choruses were looking to bring larger pieces, like maybe a commission that wouldn't fit in a 30-minute concert block, or where they really wanted to bring in more instrumentalists or some kind of staging. And it wasn't possible to do that in these short 30-minute concert blocks. So we have, you can apply to have one of these morning coffee concerts, and you can see what that means is there is nothing programmed against you. So these are 50-minute concert blocks in the primary concert hall. So there's one earlier morning, mid-morning, and then in the afternoon, these 30-minute concert blocks begin. Every evening is some kind of special themed concert, and we call those blockbuster concerts. And again, we'll talk more about that as we go through these slides. This was the opening that we had planned for 2020. It was called Bring the Sing. 8,000 singers and people from Minneapolis gathering outside of Orchestra Hall for a big sing-along event. Minnesota Public Radio was our partner. So we're sort of figuring out now at this point, which of those projects will continue for 2024, or might we do something different? There's usually some kind of welcome concert featuring the choirs from that local city. We also have spaces for your ensembles to perform, and typically they have performed on the opening day and then in some late night concerts. We'll again talk about that a little bit later. There will be all kinds of things for you to do throughout the week. So there will be food trucks and vendors. We're creating sort of a lounge in the middle of the convention center so you can meet and greet and learn to know delegates that are coming. Fireworks, probably not, because we're not on the 4th of July anymore. Okay, concert blocks. We encourage you to start planning and bring your most unique and compelling programming to festival. If you've been to ACDA or Chorus America, this is nothing like that. Just really, really creative and interesting, and sometimes very shocking and beautiful programming. So bring what you have. 30-minute concert set that includes your entrance time and your exit time. if you want to bring instrumentalists or move the piano to a different place, that comes out of your 30-minute block. So, be thinking in advance about what's feasible for you to do in that 30-minute set. And this is only your introduction. We're going to have lots of other webinars and informational sessions about how you might think about your programming before you come. We really encourage you to collaborate and share concert sets. So if you're in a city that has multiple choruses, you can request, for example, for your concerts sets to be back to back, so that you could share an hour block and do some combined pieces. Or at the last festival, my chorus collaborated with a group in Beijing, and it was amazing. We did a song in English and a song in Mandarin, and it was an incredible experience. So it doesn't need to be somebody in your backyard. It could be somebody, some chorus from way far away. Ensembles, like I said, they will perform on the opening day and also in late night concerts. We just contracted with Deek Sharon, who is going to be a clinician for the week. So Deek will come and do some coaching for free. I mean, free for you at Festival. These are the coffee concerts that I talked about. They are ones that you would need to apply for. And we'll talk about some deadlines, but the coffee concerts are opening. The applications open already this January, and they close in March. So we do it way ahead of time to give people time to plan, and so that you know pretty far in advance what kind of set that you're going to have. When we're looking for coffee concert applicants, we're really looking for something that's quite unique and creative. We're looking to make sure that your chorus can actually pull off what you say you're going to do. We're looking for diversity and inclusion on the stage, and particularly programming that connects with the mission of Gala Choruses. So here's the timeline again. Opens in January, closes in March. And we'll let people know probably actually by April, May at the latest. And then the evening themed concerts, again, these were ones that were planned for 2020. Global Pride was choruses from all over the world that were performing. In the middle of the week, we had planned a choral carnival. So that was little pop-up concerts all over the Twin Cities that you can rove around and experience. Beyond the Binary was exploring race and gender. And then, of course, opening and closing concerts. So your chorus can also perform, apply to perform a song or two as part of a themed concert. So for example, if you have a song that would fit really well for the Beyond the Binary blockbuster, there'll be a place for you to sign up and say you're interested. And it just gives your chorus another chance to have spotlight and perform. There will also be mass choruses. So those are choruses with a clinician, and they're for individual singers who attend festivals. So they could be people from your chorus who want to join a gospel choir or some other sort of mass chorus. We had an HIV chorus one year, elders chorus, trans chorus. They are also open to people who travel to festival without a choir, so they can join those. And then there are workshops because there's just not enough to do at festival. So workshops on really great topics. And we encourage you now to start talking about festival and bringing your non-singing board members and volunteers. There are lots of things that they can be a part of during this week. Paul, can you talk a little bit about youth choruses and their experience at festival?
It's a great opportunity for youth to get together with other queer youth around the country. All of our current Gala youth choruses get together, and I believe it's the case that any queer youth that would like to participate, even if they're not affiliated with the youth chorus, can join in this festival. Is that correct, Jane?
I
something
believe
like that?
so. We did open it up on, for
Yeah.
2020. Yeah.
And there are wonderful workshops, and we perform for each other. And then what happened in 2016 was there was one big performance where all of the Gala youth performed a joint work. So it's a great, really, I think that our youth found it to be so positive to meet other queer youth from around the country. There's this sense of not being alone and of getting ideas about what it's like to grow up LGBTQ in other places. Super, super valuable. I can't recommend it enough.
What's the age range for youth, or is it just kind of subject to your local group?
I don't know the answer to that. I think that would be a you question rather than a me question, unless you're asking me about Gen Out.
I'm asking anyone who might have the answer. Jane, do you have any thoughts on that? Do we have?
We did have an age range. I think it was 14 to 20 or something like that, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Generally high school age.
Cool, stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Exactly. Thanks. Okay, last festival, we had a live broadcast, and this year we are working with a company to make this an even larger live broadcast. There is a possibility that every concert block will be broadcast. Last time it was just a few of the blockbusters and sort of larger events. So again, stay tuned on this, but it's going to be magnificent. I think, oh, Sue, how many viewers were there? 30,000? Is that right?
14,000.
Oh, I doubled it. 14,000. Okay, cool. Oh, this is just a list of some of the festival choruses that we've had in the past. Again, mass choruses that anybody can sign up for. These rates are from 2020. I actually don't know if they're changing, but they're going to be pretty close, probably. I think, yeah. Anyway, the actual rates will be on the website probably in the next couple months. And then one of the things that Gala will do is offer some spreadsheets and things like this to help you calculate, for example, what's it going to cost for you to pay for your chorus registration, your ensemble registration, and then maybe to pay for your staff to get there, their flight, that kind of thing, accompanist, instrumentalist, that sort of thing. Many choruses are already fundraising now to help send their staff, but some raise enough money to send their entire chorus, which I think is incredible, actually. There are scholarships. So Gala offers one waived registration for every 20 delegates in your chorus. And here's the little countdown, just to give you a sense for what you should be thinking about. Again, coffee concerts open in January. In March, the chorus ensemble registration will open. Chorus and ensembles. So that means this is the time when you should just sign up and say, yes, my chorus is planning to attend. And if you're bringing an ensemble, sign up for that too. You'll see that down here, July 1 is the deadline for registering. The reality is the past several festivals, we have actually sold out, if you will. We had more choruses signing up to perform than we were able to fit into the schedule. So if you're planning to go, I would encourage you to sign up right away and make sure that your chorus gets in the queue. Then you'll see May 2023 is when this is delegate registration. So again, that's for your individual singers versus registering your choir. And there will be early registrations, and then the price will go up the closer we get to festival. Sue, do you want to add anything about registration and this timeline, that kind of thing?
Sure. So there are separate registrations for the group. That gives you your stage time, your performance time, and each individual performer has to register as a delegate. And what that gets you is a pass to every performance throughout the whole week.
Perfect. You
And
know,
what
that-
what I have to add to that is please make sure you have an admin person who's really good at tracking details. I can see like some eyes glossing over and rolling back his head because I totally get that as AD. Like you got to have somebody to track all this stuff and make sure that it happens. So because you don't want to have to worry about all of that, but you do need to know about the music stuff because somebody else will register and you'll be like, oh, are we signing up for Blockbuster? So you do need to have some good conversation with that person to make sure that they're signing up for what you want them to sign up for.
Right. And each chorus should have what we call a festival liaison, and that's going to be the primary contact for everyone in your chorus to talk to about how do I get registered, what are the deadlines, what are the early registration discounts, things like that, how to register, all those good things. So one of the things you can start thinking about is who in your chorus or, on your board might be a good person to be that liaison.
And yeah, not you.
Right.
As Kathleen said. Sue, can you talk about the January housing opening?
Oh, that's so much fun. So, everybody wants to be in the same hotel with their buds on the same nights. And in the past, that has broken the housing registrations system, which we use a third party. It's a gay-owned convention housing outfit, and they're very good, but we are all only humans. So you'll hear lots more about housing, but that tends to be the big circus when everybody's like, when's housing open? And then at the stroke of the bell, everybody rushes on and tries to register at the same time. But we'll have enough rooms, I promise.
Yeah, we will. In April, now this is April 2024. Wait, Sue, this seems late. No, I guess that's right. So about 3 months before you arrive at festival, we're going to ask you for a list of your programming. There's a database that you'll sign into and put it all in there. And you will need to upload permissions and licenses so that we know that everything you're bringing is licensed. And then you'll upload things like a production worksheet, like what you need on stage and microphones, those sorts of things. Again, don't worry about that right now. You got some time. We'll get you more information as we get closer.
But save your receipts and your correspondences because
Yeah.
you may decide to do something that you bought this year and be like, oh, I'm totally bringing back in 2024. You're going to need those receipts or licenses or email confirmations. So do worry about it a little bit if you're between now and then. Make sure your paperwork is in order.
That's good. That's good.
And some people have just taken to prove that they have individual music sheets for every singer. Sometimes they just take a picture of, 100 copies of, Rainbow Bridge or whatever.
Okay. I think we're done. And I noticed that Sue, I think in the chat, put a note saying that concert blocks happen simultaneously in 3 halls. Again, that's just so in my head, I forgot to say it, but that is really important to know that at any given time, there are typically 3 things happening at the same time.
Yeah, and that's in the afternoon. So the morning coffee concerts kind of sit by themselves, although there are workshops and other things going. And then the evening blockbusters happen more or less by themselves, other than the ensemble performances.
Okay, those of you that have been to festival, what do you want to add? And those of you that haven't, what do you want to ask?
I have a question, but it's going to be a bit of a Debbie Downer question. Right before this,
Get the
we
trombone
had-
out.
huh?
I'll get the trombone out.
So right before this, we had our board meeting, and basically the gist of it is that we are riding the line between solvency and not. And that we could go to gala right now, but we would use every bit of our reserves. So what should we plan for? Should we plan to not do anything? What are the options for us?
Yeah, that's a really good question. If it were my chorus, I would encourage you to at least register your chorus, because it's a fairly small amount, and then you can be in the queue. You also have options for, I mean, not every chorus raises enough money to send all their members. Many just send their artistic directors, and singers need to come up with their own funds. That's another option. If you're really at a place where finances are, where the chorus can't send staff or accompanist, then individual members can also attend and sort of represent your chorus at festival. And then you don't need to register as a chorus if you're not performing. Those singers could perform in the mass choirs and be a part of other events at festival. Does that help, Spencer?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's really hard to be excited about something you've never been to, like you hear about it. But I've also found that if there's a way to like hype it more, get people in to talk about it, it's amazing how people are like, oh, I suddenly have the ability to come up with this money, or hey, I've got this great idea. Like we do extra cabaret shows when we have travel years. And so we have our main stage show, and then we take our cabaret shows, and that money goes towards travel. So someone might get excited and then have a new idea of like, oh, wait, here's a way I hadn't thought of. I'm excited enough to work hard enough to make enough money to do this thing, which is now more important than it was before.
Good question. And Spencer, you said it's a downer, but it's reality, right? I mean, a small chorus, a big chorus, a medium-sized chorus, everybody's concerned about funds right now. Yeah. Bye, Braden. Other questions? Tim?
I was just curious about like what you just said about like small courses, because obviously it seems like in this call, like my course is probably the smallest. So like, are we treated more like an ensemble, or do we still like have one of these huge, like when you were showing the venues, I was like, oh, that's very big for 25 people.
Yeah, you do. You get to have a big venue.
Okay.
As part of a block.
Yeah. And if you don't want a big venue, you can also perform on the ensemble stage. But it's really, I mean, for a lot of singers, they've never had a chance to perform in a spectacular hall like that. So it's one of the really cool parts of Gala Festival. Yeah.
And there's no audience like a gala audience, let me
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah.
I just unmuted to say is the absolute most supportive venue. We had, ensembles of just a handful of people who are up on main stage, and the audience is still like,
10 minutes standing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Tim, your chorus at 25, there are many choruses that are about that size. The majority of choruses are 50 singers and fewer.
Yep.
So, we tend to sort of see the big, large choruses because they make a big splash in terms of social media and that sort of thing. They have more money to be out front, but you are right in there with the majority of gala choruses.
And when you register the chorus, one of the things you'll be asked is your venue preference, rank them 1, 2, 3. And Jane does an amazing job of balancing the choruses in each concert block and satisfying at least your second choice of venue, if not your first.
Yeah.
it's a Herculean task, but she does a great job.
Jacob.
I guess my question is, what should we be doing now? Our singers have asked, is it happening? And I've said, yes, it is. Here are the dates. And that's as far as we've gone. But like, what should, between now and January 1st, what should be like on our to-do list?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would suggest you find your liaison and that you, and Sue, we should write these things up. Find a liaison
I am.
and start some small fundraising activities. Like my chorus does a once a month soup supper before rehearsal. It's really simple. People put money into a jar, and you know what? We don't make that much money for scholarships, but it puts this festival in people's heads every month, and super helpful.
Yeah.
Gayla also has some videos that you can share through social media with your chorus. You can show them on rehearsal night. Paul says, start thinking about now about what you want to sing and program. Yeah, absolutely. So generally you want to be thinking about that program and perform it at some point in the 23-24 season. So it could be in the fall and then you bring it back. Excuse me, I think a lot of us try to perform it in the spring, so it's really fresh, and then you bring it to festival. Kathleen and Paul, what else do you think about that would be good to do now?
Lots of time hyping it, talk about it a lot, get people on board, and figure out if you want to do any collaborations and if you want to sign up for the extras. I think first time I went, only time I went, I was like, I don't know how many things to sign up for. And I kept getting invitations. Oh, do you want to do this collab? Do you want to do this extra thing? And I said yes to all the things. And it made for a very busy, but very exciting week. So
Yes.
you can kind of start to prioritize,
Yeah.
how busy do you want to be versus how much time your singers are going to want to go and just watch some concerts too.
Yeah. Or walk around the city. It's a great city for walkabout.
Mhm.
Apropos Spencer's question and Jane's answer about budgeting, it might be helpful for your liaison to figure out, a very ballpark amount that it will cost each of your singers to go, assuming that your chorus is not paying for each member to go, which I think is the usual case.
Yep.
So that folks have a year to start socking away $20 every pay period or something for that, because it is doable, but it's not doable if you only give them a month's notice.
Right.
Yep. We have singers that need to pay on an installment plan, and we created sort of a savings account so they could start right now putting $10 a month into whatever. I know, and I know it sounds maybe kind of silly, but singers really like that. And then by the time registration opens, they have this money that the chorus has helped them save to go toward a festival.
In terms of how to prepare, we're in the process of putting together a toolkit for each chorus.
Yeah.
It'll have video clips and all the dates and deadlines and lots of things that you can use to hype festival, and that the singers may use on you to hype festival, depending on who's been there. So yeah, we have lots of good stuff coming down the pipes.
Great. We're not going anywhere. Kathleen and Sue and I are here. Paul is here to help if you want some other advice. And like I said, this is the beginning. So there will be lots of other spaces. We usually do a kind of a programming webinar, excuse me, to help artistic directors think about what to program, what to bring, how you can make sure that your licenses are ready to go. So we will have all of that ready for you. And the toolkit will have all videos and other sorts of things that you can share with your chorus, as Sue said. Great. Any other questions?
But imagine 6,000 or 7,000, Gayla singers taking over maybe what, half a square mile in downtown city in a Minneapolis. It's great.
It is really fun because you just walk the streets and pretty much everybody's gay.
And everybody will be, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Whether you know them or not.
For every bar is a gay bar. Thank you, Paul. Yes, that's right. That's right. Excuse me. Okay. Once again, it's really great to meet all of you, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the next gala event and at festival. Yay, rah!